Welcome. Welcome to Community of Christ with the Shenandoah congregation in San Antonio, Texas. Community of Christ is a welcoming and loving faith community. We proclaim Jesus Christ and promote communities of joy, hope, love, and peace. Please take a moment and like our video, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything, and comment to tell us where you are joining us from. Keep our contact details and share with us how we can minister to your needs. Find more information at www.seaofchristsa.org. If you would like to view past services, follow this link on our website. We welcome you, we acknowledge you, and we love you. Shalom.
We are happy to have Speaker Jonathan Coit with our message for us today. Jonathan lives in Hockley, Texas, which is in the Houston area, and he was employed by Houston Methodist for 14 years, and he presently is employed at UT Health. Jonathan has a master's degree in mediation and conflict resolution, and he holds the priesthood office of elder. He's married to Linda Goodwin Coit, and he has two daughters, Heather and Emma, as well as a precious new grandson, Jameson. Jonathan, we're so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you very much, Carol. It is both a privilege and an honor to be here today. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Thank you for inviting me to speak and be part of this congregation. There is unity in diversity. As Carol said, I have two daughters, Heather and Emma. And when both girls were infants and toddlers, their mother or I would take them to the doctor for yearly checkups. And during the visits, the pediatrician would tell us that our child was in a certain percentile regarding height and weight. And at one of Heather's visits, after the doctor told me Heather's percentile, I asked, "Are these numbers good? What must we do to get them closer to everyone else?" I was young and a dumb father. Now I'm just not young. The doctor replied kind of harshly to me, and she said, "Jonathan, she is what she is. She is not better or worse. She is healthy." Could you imagine if the whole world was filled with people who were all the same? How boring would that be? There's unity in diversity. The beginning of the Ephesians scripture focuses on the theology of unity. Verse 1, "I therefore, the prisoner in the Lord, beg you to lead a life worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with each other one another in love, making every effort to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace." We're all different. We have different strengths, skills, talents, and gifts. The scripture begs us to lead a life worthy of the calling to which you have been called. Have you ever given great thought to your talents and skills? About 9 to 10 years ago, while an employee at Houston Methodist Hospital leader brought in some coaches from an organization called Gallup to administer a survey called Strength Finders. And these coaches would discuss your strengths and coach you in ways to use them. And they encourage you to list your top 5 strengths at the bottom of your email and place a list of them in your office by the door, so when people came in, they would see them. Now, the platform has 34 different strengths. Give me just 1 second here real quick. There we go. The platform has 34 different strengths. My top 5 strengths are harmony, communication, belief, responsibility, and connectedness. Now, the people from Gallup told us they believe so much in their research and their tools and ways they measure your skills that if you retook the survey many years later, the results would be almost the exact same. Now I work for UT Health. I started it in February. And this past May, my boss bought each of the team members the Strength Finders book. And I was like, great, I've already done this. I don't need to read the book. I don't need to do this. Well, my boss had other ideas. And she said, do it anyway. With the purchase of the book, you're given a code to log into their website and take the survey. And when you take the survey, you're given about 5 seconds to answer a question. They don't want you to think much about the question. A problem I've never really had a lot of something I've ever really done, given a lot of thought about something. But I took the survey and I waited for the computer to process my answers and tell me my top 5 strengths. I wanted to test their how good they thought they were by 10 years ago. And so remember, 10 years ago, my strengths were harmony, communication, belief, responsibility, and connectedness. This time, my strengths were communication, harmony, belief, responsibility, and connectedness. The only change from 10 years ago is that the top 2 switched in priority and order. My boss laughed at me because she has me working on a training program for all the doctor's offices in the Houston area that are part of UT Health. The training aims to help clinics deal with conflict with patients and what they can do to prevent conflict from happening in the first place. She told me that I could build the program however I wanted. She did not care. She just wanted it to be productive and effective. So I'm writing the program and I have 3 modules that I'm creating. And the very first module is called Communication 101. Imagine that. I then tell everyone that life is a relationship. Life is a relationship. The relationship might be with a family member, a coworker, or even the cars you drive next to on the highway. The root of all problems in all relationships is the lack of communication. I think Gallup might be on something, at least for me. There's unity and diversity. I've been on a journey for the last 10 years, trying to figure out these gifts in my life. The journey's been hard, and at times, and more than once, I've wanted to give up on everything. I graduated from college in 2013. 3 months before I graduated, my wife called me at work and told me she wanted a divorce. In 2015, I met Linda. In 2016, we were legally married. At the time, I knew my mother was very ill, and she passed away a little over a week after we were married. Sometime during 2020, I realized at work that I would not be able to move up, advance, or get a good raise at the hospital if I did not go to graduate school. A graduate degree in mediation and conflict resolution was what I wanted to do. In the middle of my first class, I started questioning the degree and how I would make money, any money to justify the time and the money that it would cost for graduate school. See, in Texas, my plan all along was when I went through my divorce, Lisa and I sat down at the kitchen table and we did what we call a kitchen table mediation. We didn't bring all these other people in, and I thought I could help other people go through this as well and not have to spend very much money. But in Texas, attorneys only want to use typically other attorneys for mediation. So I really couldn't figure out how I was going to justify this. So I dropped out and I switched to an MBA degree, a Master's of Business Administration. The program was boring to me and the way I think. So I decided to change the programs again. I started talking to myself and I said, Jonathan, you like money. Why don't you get a master's in financial planning? Now, friends, I'll be very upfront with you. I'm not sure what on earth I was thinking when I thought that was a good idea. While trying both programs, I kept feeling the calling towards conflict resolution. I finally told myself I would justify spending the time and money on the degree later. I enrolled as a graduate student at Dominican University in River Forest, Illinois. River Forest is a suburb of Chicago. And I had to take a couple of classes on campus, and I was very excited about that. On Thursday, September 10th, 2020, 2 days before my 50th birthday, I'm at the airport here in Houston, ready to board a plane for Chicago for the first class. I am so excited I can barely contain myself. Now, some information for you is that the program at Dominican is that, like all programs, you had a list of classes you had to take, but you could not take any classes until you came on campus and took this first class, and they only offered it twice a year. So I'm at the airport, I'm ready to board to take this first class, and I'm just so excited. 30 minutes before I board my plane, I was sitting in the terminal and I received a phone call from my sister. And she tells me that they had to rush my father to the hospital and they were not entirely sure how long he would live. She also told me that she could not care for my father anymore, and since I was his medical power of attorney, I would have to take over. I started having a breakdown in the middle of the airport. I called Linda to try to talk through everything that was happening, and I told her I was leaving the airport and coming home. I would just wait and put the program and the degree on hold. Well, for those who don't know Linda, she laid her foot down with me. And she tells me my father would not want that. He would want me to get on the airplane and take the class. She would take care of things here in Houston until I came back. Over the next 2 years, I cared for my father and went to court to become his legal guardian. Away 3 months before I graduated. Now, I want to be very clear here. I don't tell you these stories for sympathy. I don't tell you these stories of, wow, look at Jonathan. I tell you this story because after spending much time trying to hear God talk to me and confirm my gifts and calling, I did what I had to do. I did what I felt like God was calling me to do. And friends, I'm very good at helping people resolve conflict. I am very good at helping build communication skills and work towards unity. So I ask you, what are your gifts? Verse 7 and 8 of Ephesians says, but each of us was given grace according to the measure of Christ's gift. Therefore, it is said, when he ascended on high, he made captivity itself a captive. He gave gifts to his people. What do you think your gifts are? What do you think those gifts are? God gave gifts of grace, kindness, love, and patience. He gave the gifts of learning, the gift of question, and seeking understanding. Earlier, I mentioned strength finders. If you use strength finders correctly, you build unity through diversity. See, when you look at the skills in God and gifts that God gave you, I guarantee you that many of you will have skills and strengths that are completely different than mine. But if we each use our different skills, our different talents for God, that God gave us to bring God's love, grace, and compassion to a world in need. When I worked at Houston Methodist, I built a strong relationship with many doctors. And my job at the hospital was as a patient liaison, which basically meant whenever there was a conflict with the patient, with their family, with medical staff, with any part of what was going on, I stepped in to try to mediate and resolve that conflict. And so I went to one of the doctors, one that I have a lot of respect for, and I said to her, Dr. Abanya, let's switch roles for today. I've learned enough medicine to get myself in trouble. You can do my job, I'll do yours. You can even keep your salary and I'll keep mine. She very quickly said to me, no way. She then said, Jonathan, my job is to save lives. If I did what you do, I would get fired in less than 15 minutes because I would do the opposite of saving people's lives. There's unity in diversity. Today, we partake in the sacrament of communion. And when we take communion, we renew our covenant with God by accepting Jesus Christ. I've been told that statement my entire life. But what does that mean? It's easy to renew our commitment to God. But what if we took that a step further? We are to develop disciples to serve. You are the disciple. You need to work on developing you as a disciple for God. You need to continue to develop yourself, your skills, your talents to help take the message and love of God to the world. Make the hard choices. Look at yourself and be open to change, to develop yourself. We live in a world with far too many people hurting and crying out for the love that comes from God and his son, Jesus Christ. You are the disciple. What is that skill and talent? Is it to teach? Is it to sit there in the ministry of presence when somebody is going through the hardest times of their life and just listen? I often say God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. God's got to be telling us that one is more important than the other. Is that gift to preach? Is it to raise money that can be used to help people? We all have gifts, we all have strengths, and they're all different, but they work towards unity and they build us to take that so that we can take that message of God to all people. It is a blessing, not a curse. Our gifts are what they are. They are blessings from God. You are the disciple. You are the disciple. You are the one who can and will take God's love to a world in need. There is unity in diversity. Develop disciples to serve. Develop yourself to serve God by taking care of God's children. Amen.